So a lot of people through the years have come to HypnoKick and they're not really sure what we're about, what we offer. So we don't really specialize in hypnotherapy. Me and my team offer very basic hypnotherapeutic services, but I actually have a friend and colleague, Andrew here, who's a certified master hypnotist, right?
A certified master hypnotist. I think at this point, because I've graduated, I am a certified hypnotherapist.
Okay. I wasn't sure. You said it says on your screen CMH, so I wasn't sure if you wanted to be technical or fancy about it.
Man, I don't know why it doesn't update for me.
I
Hold
mean,
on, can I
certified
change that?
master hypnotist sounds pretty boss, though.
Ha
And technically speaking, aren't you, couldn't you still be considered a CMH?
yeah, I can call myself either one, but master hypnotist doesn't exactly, for me, illustrate what it is that I do.
That's fair. So tell
Sure.
us a little bit about your recent experience with where you went for hypnotherapy training or certification, and why you chose that over an online program, since those seem rampant on the internet right now.
I went to the Hypnosis Motivation Institute in Tarzana, California, which for me was all over Zoom. I don't know what their future plans are for continuing in person, but the experience there was overall a complete positive one. The staff is also very well trained, and they're kind and considerate and accommodating, and the everything you have options as well for when you attend your classes. Each class will have something more in the middle of the day, California time, or in the evening, so we can accommodate people for the different schedules and time zones as well. And there's just so much that this school offers, that along with the tuition, and just alone with the tuition, because there's classes that you can also pay extra for, but I didn't partake in that stuff. Yeah, everything that came with tuition at this school was more than enough for you to have a successful hypnotherapy business. And it's definitely an experience that I would recommend to anyone who's looking for training in hypnotherapy. I do know that there are other programs out there. They're like weekend seminars that you pay like 2 grand for, and you get certified. And I've seen some videos online of those kinds of classes. Sometimes, those programs will release those videos for whatever reason, and I've found those, and I have not found them to be the most helpful unless you're already trained somewhat, you know. It's really more of a continued education thing. It might actually be best for those kinds of, less expensive options that are shorter term, like a weekend seminar or a week-long seminar, might be best for people who are already in the mental health industry, therapists, psychoanalysts, and the likes. But if regardless of your background, HMI is a fantastic place to go. Yes, it's got more of a college tuition fee, but you're getting a robust education there.
So the tuition very easily backs up the value compared to an online program.
In my opinion, yes.
So yeah, it basically sounds like HMI, Hypnosis Motivational Institute, quite literally does its own variation of a hypnosis-based community college, like you said, which sounds like the hypnotherapy version of what HypnoKick University does, which is in-person and online trainings and weekly Q&As and a lot of the same in-person and virtual materials, offerings, small community with all people who are coming there for the right reason. But obviously we're doing it for Comedy Street stage hypnotists, and they're doing it specifically for hypnotherapists. When you were in the program, correct me if I'm wrong, you went from certified master hypnotist to graduating with an actual certification as a hypnotherapist, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, yeah. Are we doing Congress rules? Do I have to only say yes or no?
No, I was just wondering because
Okay.
I want to use that as a segue to say, as a now officially certified hypnotherapist, are you able to help people over various issues, or are you a specialist? So, for example, are you able to help people stop smoking, lose weight, deal with habits, fears, and goals, or or do they only certify you to specialize in one thing once you graduate?
Okay. So that's a good question. The certifications, they're it's not the same as licensing. So it's really more of the formality kind of thing. It's like it's what do you call those? A milestone kind of thing, because technically in most states you don't need anything to be a hypnotherapist. There is no requirements. However, at the school, we do, once you get through half of the program, that's completing, I think, 300 course hours, you are able to be certified as a master hypnotist. And that is necessary so that you can get liability insurance and start your practice. It's like an internship thing. Basically, it means that you're moving into more of the business side of the learning, and you are able to start taking pro bono clients, because that's another resource that this school offers you: free hypnotherapy sessions. I say that as if you're getting the deal,
I
but
appreciate it.
yeah. Well, the thing is, it's hard to find clients, but having a nationally accredited school, it's a big name that has been around for decades. Okay, and so people know about it. They flock to it for free sessions, and all you have to do is meet the requirements, which basically means you have to sign an agreement, pro bono agreement. You have to have your liability insurance, be certified, and be a member of the American Hypnosis.
You have to be a member of the American Hypnosis Association.
Thank you. Yes, that's the words. Those are the words. And yeah, you just have to meet those requirements in order to get the pro bonos, um, and be able to practice with real clients.
I would agree that it is a huge deal, and that's why I was so impressed when you initially told me a while back that you were joining. Because when I initially was leaving university and looking for something that actually kind of coincided with my dream as a hypnotist, my parents were like, maybe you should stay in school, because they had that, older generation mindset of you need a degree or you need something worth a piece of paper worth of value to not just validate that you went to school and got an education, but also, to have secure corporate job or whatnot. And initially I did like the idea before realizing, personally for me, my path was obviously comedy stage and street hypnotist. That was where my passion lied, and I realized I got really good at it through time. However, if I was going therapy, that's why I want to talk to you, because you actually went through the very program I introduced to one of my parents when I considered going to them after initially dropping out of regular university. Aside from being the only accredited hypnosis college in the US, in your mind, when you were deciding whether or not you're going to go, how did HMI differentiate themselves from and better serve students like yourself compared to the cheaper programs that people can join for a fraction of the cost?
Yeah, so HMI is different from those other programs. I think, like we may have discussed, the weekend or the week long, budget. I call it budget because it's just less, but it's different because it is like a full educational course. It's not some kind of seminar where you're getting lectures and getting to ask questions like that. Just like it's just the one-on-one, and they have breakout. Actually, now while I'm saying this, it's a lot like school, isn't it? It's the I'm describing those weekend seminars like school. I've never been to those seminars. I have only seen videos of them. Mm-hmm. And based on that information alone, the biggest difference is that this is a longer program and it has more resources. And of course, with those more resources is a higher cost.
And a community of not just like-minded people that are not
Aha.
going to be up and leave you the next week.
Absolutely, yes. So it's yeah, it's not just, I mean, you can think of those weekend seminars or those week-long courses that they offer. You can look at those as networking opportunities as well and say that you formed a little community, and that's fine. But in the same way and in a larger way, because there are way more people going to the school, you know, and it's not just like this one little group going in and coming out as friends, and you never meet the other groups that go in later on. In this case, with the HMI, you have a year's worth of students, you know, that you will meet from time to time. Not just in your classes, they kind of separate us, you know, 101, 201, 301. So you don't really take classes with everybody too much. Some of the classes are kind of swapped around, but not only do you have that structure, you also have you call them practicums. So, you know, weekends you can not can you're required for your for your education. You have to show up for these practicums, these 3 hour long practicums. Again, another thing that I had a hard time with because I have ADHD, I can't sit still for too long. But I am still incredibly grateful for that opportunity to practice on fellow students, and you will meet everyone. It's a melting pot, all of the levels. And so you not only get to, I guess, network with your fellow classmates in that sense, you know, in the school, but also there is a Facebook group for alumni and current students. And you have access to that, of course, forever. There's a huge community there. So it's another huge difference between HMI and some kind of smaller program.
It sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that this is the weekend seminars, which I've been to. Uh, they have a community, but it almost feels like more of like a weekend summer camp with people that you may or may not see or talk to ever again, versus this, like you said, has a small community college feel. And like an actual small community college or actual university, you're not just connecting with people, but you're able to be with them for a prolonged period of time, get to know them, connect with them, network with them, and actually establish better, longer lasting connections of some sort for years down the road, and also then continue networking even after that's done, versus where, like, for example, a weekend camp or a weekend seminar, like I said, I've been to those before, and after they're done, you feel, at least I felt like I was just left high and dry, and you have to figure it out on your own, as where they're spending weeks, if not months, with you in HMI with whatever you're doing, and you're all collectively, you and the students are all in this together, helping each other progressively grow, getting questions answered that come up that weekend seminars or audios or videos that are all pre-recorded wouldn't be able to do. They're able to do it because you're in there for such a long time, and they have, like you said, such a wealth of knowledge that it's not just you learn one thing and then hope it works out. You learn this and then building block and then building block and then building block. Because my educated guess is, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, you have more knowledge and know-how and skill now, and more confident moving forward as a certified hypnotherapist now, than you probably did and had and were before you enrolled.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's unavoidable. 100% super glad that I went through this course. My confidence level after going to this school is very, very high. I mean, I've got certification, first as a master hypnotist and then as a hypnotherapist, and have a diploma in clinical hypnotherapy. That's what it's called, a diploma in clinical hypnotherapy. I've got a copy of it here. Well, I've had better magic tricks than that. It's this right here. There's just so much standing behind me, you know, this whole school and wealth of resources and credentials, qualifications that I have now. And I mean, if you're the type of person who struggles with imposter syndrome, you know, because they've learned all this stuff, but they haven't quite learned how to use it, you know, this will definitely help, because I mean, it's a community of therapists. So anywhere that you are falling short, you're feeling insecure about, all you've got to do is let people know they're the type of person that are going to help you. You know, even some of our classes, specifically, there was one called therapeutic journaling, where it teaches us some techniques for the cognitive portion of the therapy sessions. So it's sort of like talk therapy in that sense. Um, so these techniques that help us understand, the dive into the subconscious, and it's little writing things that but yeah, so in those classes specifically, we, when we're doing this, we're basically kind of wearing our heart on a sleeve, whatever the phrase is, where we're spilling our guts and being honest about something because we need an example, and so we're holding a positive space for each other because some real issues do come up, and we do give a real positive, support in class during those times. So yeah, you come out of this class feeling well informed, well practiced, qualified.
I think, as one of my old coaches used to say, a lot of people lack confidence with whatever skill they want to be proficient at. And they're not always, they might know the how to, generally speaking, but they get scared about the approach for something, especially when it comes to hypnosis. And I think that a lot of students, at least who come to HypnoKick, and this is something we now have gained from, my experience and other people that work with HypnoKick University, it sounds kind of like that's what the hypnotherapists do at HMI, which is they're not just training, here's how to hypnotize, but here's how to hypnotize for whatever specific purpose. HypnoKick University, Street and Stage, HMI, hypnotherapy. But then also they provide business knowledge. How do you get those people that want that service? If you're interested in becoming a business person about it, they help you with the approach verbally and physically, both of these entities. And I think that's a huge thing because, again, a lot of people who come to HypnoKick, the number one thing that people coming to HypnoKick University seem to have an issue with is client generation and how do I approach people without feeling like an imposter. And I think that's one of the biggest downfalls of the weekend camp seminars, per se, is they teach you the hypnosis, but how do you walk away? How do you get someone to walk away confident? I think the honest answer is time and community. And when you can combine those two things for a hypnotherapist, I think HMI is the perfect answer to that kind of thing. And then HypnoKick University, we do something similar for, obviously, Street and Stage, the way that me and my friends were taken through multiple different seminars, which is having the community and the time with the community to practice, inform, and help each other grow, watch each other, critique each other. And I think that's a huge thing, is we're afraid to get critiqued, but we feel interestingly most comfortable getting critiqued by our own community because we can trust and know that they have our best interest in mind. And I would assume it's the same way between, like, you sounded very passionate when you were talking about the hypnotherapist that could help people up where they seem to be falling short, because that's, like you said, what they specialize in. They make you feel more competent as in your case, hypnotherapist, and the competent breeds confidence, which makes the imposter syndrome dwindle a little bit and makes it that much easier for you to go out into the world confidently and know that you know how to provide the value that they're providing you.
Right. And going back to a question I didn't fully answer for you was regarding the certification. Does it certify you for all hypnotherapy or something specialist? I think you mentioned you yourself have dealt mostly with anxiety relief.
Yeah.
Right. And stop me if I'm going too far with this, but with your program, it's your ability to teach or to coach hypnotherapy is rather limited. Is that fair? Right. And
Yeah.
so yeah, if somebody is trying to, again, we're going back to your comments about where your heart lies. If somebody's heart lies in entertainment, you've got it. They're going to the right person right there. You at HypnoKick. But if their heart lies with hypnotherapy, in the same vein, they're going to want to go to the people that specialize in that, which is HMI, because they give you everything you need to specialize in anything. And so when it comes to certifications, again, it is more of a milestone thing. They give you that master hypnotist just so that they could allow you to start practicing with pro bonos. And then that last one is a little more official, I guess, just to signify that you have completed the full training. But as far as specializing, that is completely up to you. You get everything laid out for you, all the information you need. And once you're done, you decide, you know what? I feel more comfortable with just anxiety relief and confidence building. You know, the more of, I will consider that the easier things to work with,
Mhm.
which is fine. If that's all you're comfortable with, great. There is nothing wrong with that. You focus on what your strengths are and what your comfort zone is. Um, or if you're special, you know, if you feel more comfortable with, more passionate about something more like childhood traumas, or helping somebody change something about their identity or their belief, you know, if there's some kind of limiting beliefs or character flaws that somebody wants to work through. That, believe it or not, part of our training is relationship, you know, dealing with relationships and the dynamics of relationships. We've got this model that was coined by Dr. John Kappas, the founder, called the E&P model, that stands for emotional and physical. And those, the terms are more of like they were like these hot terms, you know, of the time. um uh, but they also kind of have, they relate. But so we have the emotional, physical, sexuals. That really just means your behavior type, how you behave in a relationship. And then there's emotional and physical suggestibles, which just basically means how you take in information. And so we do learn a little bit about relationships, and you can specialize in relationship hypnotherapy or something of the sort.
Okay.
I, for one, am having difficulty with the idea of being niche. I'm like, I can do anything. You know, I'm the type that's overambitious, bites off more than he can chew. But yeah, you do have all those options. It's all up to you.
So it sounds like, in the same way that HypnoKick University will train people in street as well as comedy stage hypnosis, and then people can walk away, they go through everything in the university and get certified for comedy purposes, and then choose to either specialize in street, specialize in stage, or do both, that you get everything you need for therapy, but it's up to you if you want to specialize or just do everything, correct?
Yes, Mr. Congressman, that is absolutely correct. But keep in mind, and you probably know this as well, John, regarding stage hypnosis, that the legalities of it can be kind of dicey sometimes. Um, it's still widely misunderstood, and people will sue over the smallest things. And luckily, at least with hypnotherapy, um, we have over the years established protections, laws protecting our practice of hypnotherapy, and people have come after that practice before we had to really fight. And so we have cases that we have won to back us up. And not only that, we have courses at HMI that specifically teach about the laws and about ethics. So if you want to make sure that your hypnotherapy practice is secure, that you are prepared for any uh, allegations, litigations, whatever, this school will adequately prepare you and, again, be a resource long after you've graduated.
I'm glad you said that, because I know for a fact that many people don't know how controversial the outside person seeing a therapist or seeing a comedy stage hypnotist view what we do as a questionable or shady or edgy type of thing. And is this therapist allowed to do this, or is this comedy hypnotist allowed to do this? And HypnoKick University just recently incorporated a lesson plan on that, in terms of the three direct and indirect, they're simultaneous, direct and indirect, kind of trifecta, for lack of better phrasing, legal protection, not system, but all the basic things that people would need to know, at least going through comedy stage hypnosis, what to do to better and best prepare and angle yourself for and as and what prepare for, both before, during, as well as after the show because yeah, a lot of people make a lot of crazy allegations, especially people who don't understand hypnosis. People might just, I heard of a lawsuit, a guy filed at a nightclub because the show was over. Everything went fine until he decided to step off stage, and the second or third step down off the stage, he sprained or twisted or rolled his ankle and then tried to sue the hypnotist saying he was still hypnotized and it was all the hypnotist's fault. People will find the craziest things to get us over. So I think that them having that for therapy students, just like HypnoKick has it for comedy students, is a very good, small, but powerful nugget. I'm under the impression, I firmly, deeply believe anyone getting into therapy or comedy should know almost immediately and be aware of, so they can at least protect themselves. Even if nothing comes up, it's always better to know and have and not need than need and not know and have.
You're talking about the legalities of everything and how to protect yourself.
Legalities, liability, insurance, all of it. Even a
Yes,
legal team.
absolutely. In fact, I don't know if your students are having some kind of legal litigation against them and they don't know what to do, can they come to you? Is that
Yeah,
something that
we
you
actually
offer?
have a whole we have actually a whole subsection on how they can get their own state referred legal team within 24 hours.
Interesting. Okay. And at HMI, they are so generous to give their time to this because it's very important to them that, they protect hypnotherapy. Um, so if you ever, even as an alumni, have legal issues come up, you can simply reach out to Dr. George Kappas, the son of the founder. You can reach out to him, let him know what's going on, and I mean they will work with you to help you, fight that, because it's really not just you who's getting sued, it's hypnotherapy. So you have that as well. You have legal advice at your fingertips right there, and people who will help fight for you.
Any last minute gold nuggets or words of wisdom for the aspiring or growing hypnotists in general watching and listening to this lesson?
Although I said earlier that if your focus is on entertainment, but you still want to do some light hypnotherapy things like just emotional state changes like anxiety relief, things like that, um, the number one thing that I will preach to everyone, frankly, in every career choice, is it's called the Hippocratic Oath: do no harm. So whatever you do, seek to make sure that you are not risking anybody. So that is another reason why I'm going to highly suggest that if you're trying to get any hypnotherapy training whatsoever, get a very well accredited school education in
HMI.
this. HMI is a fantastic choice, the best one that I've seen so far.
Same.
And yeah, do your diligence, put in that work to make sure that you are getting the best education, because if you're seeking to be a hypnotherapist or to perform hypnotherapy, I mean, you're seeking to help people. And when you're in a position to help people, it means that they are being vulnerable with you in some way, which means that you have the ability to hurt them. And that can happen on accident. So I definitely, although it's possible, easily possible to get some hypnotherapy training from someone who's not specialized in that, it is highly recommended, if nothing else, for the safety of the clients. Get that professional hypnotherapy education.
100%. And I think you touched on it a few moments ago, which was, I think, very well put. And I'm going to kind of expand on it, which is, if you provide a good experience for someone, regardless of what you're using hypnosis for, you're not just providing them a good experience as a hypnotist, you're indirectly informing them hypnosis itself, the entire field, and what that layperson may now think of that field and that profession is now viewed in a positive, reinforced, uplifting light. And that's why all these last things we're talking about with, people being vulnerable and the ability to abuse, and hopefully you don't do that. And you also take care of legalities and people's emotional mental states when exercising hypnosis for any reason. Because if someone is upset with you or tries to sue you, they're also upset, and that is their perspective of hypnotists or hypnotherapists and hypnosis in general, not just you, but the entire field and the entire profession. Even if you're working for yourself, regardless if you're through an institute or university or just self-trained off YouTube, and I've met those kinds of people too, you are representing an entire community, and it will spread. And I have met several clients in the past 3 to 4 years alone who have referenced other people in our field that I now know by a first name basis without ever having met them, because of the negative experiences they've provided these people. So you're not just a hypnotist, you're not just a hypnotherapist, you are now a representation of this entire community.
That's right. Everything you do in that field, you are doing as the poster child for those people that you work with. Not poster child for the people, poster child for hypnotherapy to the the people you work with. But yes, yeah, you are the face, and you got to protect that image.
If people have any comments, questions, concerns, or are curious more about hypnotherapy, curious about what you can do either for them or help them on their journey as hypnotherapists, or they just want to get to know you personally better, what is the best way that they can reach you, or where can they find you?
Don't. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I actually had an opportunity once to not work with, but to meet and somewhat mentor with Frederick Winters. Do you know that
Mm.
hypnotist?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's the one that initially mentored Chris Jones.
Yes, yeah, that's what he mentioned. He was roommates with him and everything.
Mm.
Um, and he was kind enough to give me his email and let me send him any questions, any videos of me hypnotizing people. So pay that forward. My email is andrewhughes@hypnohughes.com. If you need to spell that, I have sympathy for you.
Also come to you if they're looking for one-on-one hypnotherapy. And you said
Absolutely.
you're now a certified hypnotherapist. You want to help as many people as you can, as best as you can. What are the things that people should know about what kind of services, as a now certified hypnotherapist, what do you offer? Do you offer anything, or what few special areas of expertise do you have that you invite people to come to you for?
So yeah, I do have that all that information from HMI, that so I could specialize in any single thing. At this moment, there are few things that I have ruled out as something that I'm not willing to work on. I think right now that's mostly limited to sexual things. I am absolutely happy to help you work through relationship issues. And again, it's one-on-one only. I don't work with couples. I can't do couples counseling. Um, but so relationship stuff, the general emotional regulations, weight loss I can work with, habit control, including smoking cessation. I have something, I call it, what I call it, appreciation boot camp. So it's a sort of a program where we work on giving somebody back the appreciation for life. This is for people who are, I'm not going to say are depressed, because that's not something I can treat. I can't treat or cure. I can't cure anything, but I won't treat disorders. At least I won't work with those kinds of things without a referral from your psychiatrist. Um, but along that same line is, where people are feeling like life just kind of lost its luster. They can't look at a flower and feel appreciation. Everything's just kind of boring, and it's like, yeah, whatever, I've seen this. I don't care so much anymore. It's not so much in the I sad all the time kind of thing. That's what your psychiatrist is for, but more in the I just don't feel that spark for life anymore. So that's a specific program that I have, and those are the spectrum of things that I'm specifically offering right now. But there's a lot of different issues that you could come into hypnotherapy for. Don't shy away from just asking. It doesn't hurt. The worst I can say is, I don't think that I can help with that. And then, even if I can't help with something, I have a whole community of people I can refer you out to.
Oh,
So not only that, again, you could also become a pro bono at that
mm.
school if you just, if you're finding that everyone's fees aren't to your liking. But again, the price is I mean, you get what you're paying for. Someone who's educated.
There you
Paid
guys
by
go. Hopefully you gained a good number of gold nuggets, especially if you are a hypnotherapist coming to HypnoKick. And like he said, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, Andrew's email as well as his program will be down in the description. HMI's enrollment will be down in the description, as well as HypnoKick University's enrollment. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave comments down below. Let us know what you thought. If you want us to do another one of these, answer specific questions. It looked like Andrew was about to say something last minute.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention real quick, for anybody who decides to go and apply for Hypnosis Motivation Institute as a student, drop my name. You just let them know that Andrew Hughes sent them. I hope that they'll remember me by that time. But yeah, make sure you mention me.